Hello everybody, we are going to jump into some shape animation in Adobe After Effects. Let's make a new composition. We're going to call it After Effects 5 with our names on it. And then I'll make it 1920 by 1080 pixels and 24 frames a second and about 10 seconds long. Let's keep the background color black for now. We are going to immediately fill it up with a new solid. So right click, make a new solid, any color you like that's not black. Lock that in place, go over here to our rectangle tool, hold the mouse button down, and find the polygon tool. All right, so we're going to do some stuff with the polygon tool. Let's just double click on that just so it's centered into our little area here. You'll notice one thing about the polygon tool is that the anchor point is not really like in the center. Like if you get a look at how like this is centered here, we've got this like, bounding box that goes across. The anchor point is sort of like in the geometric center where it's like all the points point to here, but it's not like the center in terms if I were to center this in the artboard or in the little composition, kind of get there, but like it wouldn't be quite where it needs to be in terms of the anchor point stuff, but we'll kind of get into that later on. For now though, let's go over here to our shape layer 1. Let's rename it. Let's call it polygon. And we're going to open up our little polygon options, and we're going to see that under the Polystar path options, we've got a variety of options we can check out. We can mess around with the rotation. We can mess around with the outer radius. We can mess around with the roundness, and we can also mess around with the number of points. We can make this into a triangle or a square or a pentagon, hexagon, octagon, all those other things, all the way up to what basically resembles a circle with enough points. The sort of angles sort of disappear, and we get this sort of circle shape. I'm going to bring it back down to a triangle here, and I'm going to pull the outer radius in some, and I'm going to sort of like, pull this down here. I'm going to make a keyframe for the number of points. I'm going to make a keyframe for the scale. I'm going to make a keyframe for the rotation, and I'm going to make a keyframe for the position. Let's hit U on the keyboard to open up all those keyframes. We got 4 of these here. Notice we have this beautiful little indent over here. It's going to help us understand that we are working with the shape layer here, and we are working with the shape itself here. So if I were to make a new shape somewhere over here, this would only affect this triangle I've got, but these would affect everything else. We'll get into that later on. Here we go. Let's move forward for about a second. Let's add a new keyframe for everything. Just roll your mouse button down while holding down the mouse button. And let's go over here to 2 seconds. And let's change the shape from 3 to 4. Let's change the rotation from 0, 0 to 2 and 45. And let's change the position over here to center it into the artboard once again, or the composition rather. And for the scale, let's put the keyframe for the scale, but in the middle here, what we're going to do is we are going to have the scale go down to 10%. Let's watch what happens here. So we were chilling out here with our triangle, and then we spin, and we have our square here, right? Now, the 45 degrees is because, for whatever reason, it sort of defaults to having the diamond shape on its point, but that's not really a big deal one way or the other. It just happens that way. Anyways, let's go forward about 3 seconds here. Let's roll down with our mouse button held down, and let's go forward to about 4 seconds, and let's change the number of sides to 6. If I just watch this right here, you can see that sort of just, we have five sides, it's a pentagon, and then it's a hexagon, right? So it sort of adds in, sort of counts up. And let's go over here for position. We're going to, actually, let's go over here to a rotation. I'm going to make this 0, and then 0 again, so it sort of spins the opposite direction here. And then over here, I'm going to have, I think we're fine here with this. We're going to position it once again. We're going to center it into the artboard. Okay, so that's pretty good. So I'll make a keyframe here. And then what we'll do is we will down here, make it 10% again. And we can kind of watch it sort of spin, shrink, and then come back, right? Okay, cool. Let's go over here to about 5 seconds. We're going to hold down the mouse button, roll down, make a new keyframe for everything. Go to about 6 seconds, roll down, make a keyframe about everything. But we are going to change the number of sides to 60, which is going to make a circle, or it looks like a circle. And then once again, we are going to rotate this about twice, so 2 times. And then we'll see it sort of like spin. It sort of looks like it's spinning, but we're also going to see it. We're also going to see it shrink down some. So let's shrink down to like 10% in the middle here. And then we can sort of watch it go boop, boop, like that, right? So it's almost like it turns into a circle right away, but then that's okay, right? All right, and then what we'll do here is that we're actually going to sort of cut this. So let's hold down the control button and hold down the shift button and hold down the letter D on the keyboard. And then we're going to go forward to about 7 seconds here, right? We're going to roll down with our, we're going to open this up. We're going to hit U on the keyboard. We're going to roll down with our keyframes. We're going to go forward, so it's just going to stay like a circle for a little bit. At about 8 seconds, what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back to 5 points, and then we are going to go over here to position and all these other things. We are going to rotate this back to 0, and then in the middle here, we will put this 10% here. And then here, I think we may need to actually just about separate this one more time here. I'm going to separate this one more time like this. And then over here, when we have 5 points, I'm going to change this. Over here, let's open up this polygon right here, and let's go over here to contents, and where it says polystar 1, open up polystar path. Where it says type, let's change polygon to star. So what we'll do is we'll kind of go like this, and then we'll have a star, right? And then we also do need to change the inner radius here to something like this, right? So we'll have here we go. So it kind of turns into this little star shape, right? Very cool. And then we can just kind of keep it there. In fact, what we'll do is we'll just have it spin away to nothing. So we'll just open up our keyframes, and then we'll have it spin maybe 5 times, and then spin down to 0. So we can kind of see this. It'll go woo, like that, right? And in fact, what we can do from here is we can actually even make the points go, up to whatever. So it'll spin away. That's kind of cool looking, right? All right, so let's put our name on this. And before we do anything else, let's hit U on the keyboard for everything. Let's open up all the keyframes, and let's double click on our After Effects, whatever, and let's just select all the keyframes. Just drag and select all the keyframes, and hit F9 on the keyboard here. And then we'll just double click this little After Effects tab over there. Let's take a look and see what happens with all this. There's that. There's that. There's that. And there's that. And there it goes. All right, cool. I want to say we want to put a little pause here. So let's duplicate all these. Let's hit Control C on the keyboard. Go over to 9 seconds here. Control V on the keyboard. So it'll just yeah, that's kind of cool. All right, cool. All right, let's save this. I'm going to save this. Call this After Effects 5 with my name on it, and just make sure that when you save it, you understand that this is just the AEP file, but we still need to export this. So we're going to export this by going over to File, Export, Add to Media Encoder Queue. Make sure it's an MP4. Oh, no, wait. We can just go File, Export, Add to Render Queue. Media encoder is now opening up. That's okay. Make sure we name it After Effects 5 with our last name on it. We can do it over here as well. If I wanted to just hit render, I can hit render. Make sure it says H264 over here, hit render, and then you can render this whole thing out and see the whole thing. And there you go. And then just do the same thing over here. Oh, yeah, before you do, though, put your name on it. Type your name out on it. I missed that part. Whoops. Okay, here we go. That's good. Can't wait to see you guys produce. I'll see you guys in class.